guys? Section 5. Okay, this is section 5, working with percentages. Okay, so let's turn to page 45. Okay, turn to page 45. First, let me assign the pages that we're going to cover for section 5. Okay, so we're going to do the entire page of page 45, entire page. Okay, all right, on page 46. Okay, on page 46, we will do the discover part, this table, these tables, okay, plus question 1 and 2 from the connect part. Question 1 and 2 from the connect part. This is on page 46, okay. Page 47. Discover part. All of these discover part. In the connect part, we do question 1 and 2. Alright, now let's turn to page 51. The Excel part is about how to create a pie chart. This is also self-practice. Okay, yeah, page 51, self-practice. Page 52, it is still the Excel part, so self-practice, okay? Self-practice, the entire page 52, self-practice, okay? Let's see. I believe that's it for section 5. Okay, section 5 is a short section. Okay, it is a short section. Alright guys, so let's turn back to page 45. Okay, let's go back to page 45. Working with percentage problem. Okay, working with percentage problem. Okay, how to solve the percent problem. First, the first method is by using what? Proportion. Okay? So, use proportion to solve percent problem. So this is method 1. Okay? Yeah, this is method 1. On page 47, okay, we'll look at method 2. Okay? So let's look at the first method at the first. Okay? Alright, I'm going to ask a volunteer to read everything above the box. Okay, they discover this short paragraph, this gray table box, gray box, and also these. Okay, above this short paragraph, the whole thing. Okay, anyone? I have the sign sheet with me. Okay, hold on 1 second. Kirsten?
Percent means per 100. P percent always translates to P over 100. So 20% is 0.2 or 2100ths. Use your number sense when working with percentage questions. Ask yourself whether or not an answer seems reasonable. It is also important to have consistent algorithms, which are step-by-step procedures to set up and solve these equations so you can be confident about your answers. Percent statements can be solved using equal proportions or using an equation where the percentage is written as a decimal. Solving percent statements using equal proportions is amount or is over the base or of equals P over 100. Keywords identify the amount in base. Is identifies the amount and of identifies the base. An amount is a percent of a base, or the percent of a base is an amount. Since the 100 is fixed, knowing 2 of the other values allows us to solve for the last one.
Very good, thanks. Okay, very good, thanks. So, use proportions to solve the percentage problem, okay? So what is called a percent, okay? A percent means what? Per 100, okay? Percent means per 100. So for example, how do we understand 20%, guys? 20% we can consider it is 20 out of what? 100, right? So 20% in the fraction way we can consider it is 20 per 100 or 20 out of 100. And how about in general P%? P% always translates to what? P per 100. Okay, P per 100. Okay. All right. Now to solve the percentage problem, okay, percent problem, okay, our first method is by using what? What is the first method? Proportion, okay, yeah, equal proportion or whatever we call the proportion, okay. So proportion, this is method 1, which is the same thing as this proportion. Or we can use what? An equation, okay. So on page 47, we'll talk about this method too. Okay, we don't have to worry about right now. Okay, so far we'll concentrate on the first method, proportion. But you know, there are two methods. Method 2 is about using an equation. Okay, we'll talk about it later. Okay. All right, how to use a proportion to solve a percentage problem? This is the formula for us. Okay, what formula? Amount out of base equals P out of 100. So here this P is our percent. Okay, yeah, 20%, the 20, okay, the P, okay. Well, so for example, 20%, okay, that 20 out of 100. So P represent percent, okay. And then amount out of base equals P out of 100, okay. Well, the thing is, you see, from this proportion, we have 100 is a fixed number, right? So there are another three quantities, okay? Amount is 1, base is 1, P is 1, so 3 of them, okay, 3 of them, amount, base, and P. So as long as we know 2 out of the 3, okay, we will be able to solve the third one, right? Okay, now how do we understand, how do we determine the amount from a problem? Amount is always identifies what? Associated with what? Is. Okay? Yeah, if you see, oh, this number is next to is, this is amount. Okay? And the base is what? Together with what? Of. Okay? Well, of course, P is a given percent, or P is a percent we need to find. Okay? We need to look, we're looking for. Okay? So either way. Okay? Alright, so let's look at the specific question. Okay? Solve this percent problem. What amount is 20% of 160 by using the proportion? What is a proportion? Amount out of base equals P out of 100. Okay? So we know 100 is always there in the proportion, right? So, do we know the amount? Yes or no? Yes. What amount is? Do we know the amount?
Yep.
What is amount, Alex? What amount is? Do we know it? We do know, right?
It's the X over.
Yeah, so
160.
since we're looking for the amount, solving for the amount, so what that is amount is what? X. And you see, the amount is indeed next to what? The word is. Okay? Alright, 20%. 20% can be written by 20 out of 100, right? So the P is given in the problem, right? Of something. Of is for what? This number 160 is for what? Amount or base? Base. Okay. So base, we always put it on the bottom, and we're looking for amount, X. So now we can build the proportion like this. A amount divided by B 160 equals P20 divided by 100. You guys? Okay. Alright. So how can we solve for X? We learned about how to solve for proportion by using cross multiplying last time, right? So we can have X times by 100. Okay. So this one implies X times by 100 or 100 times by X equals 20 times by what? 160. Right? So in order to solve for x, we have to divide by 100 from both sides. Okay? So x will be equals what? Well, x1 equals what? Use your calculator, please.
32.
It's 32.
For like problems like that, do we have to show our work? Like, cause like if you just did that in your head, would you still need to show?
Well, in the exam, that's a very good question. In the exam, for this type of problem, say this is like a word problem. It's not a, well, yeah, it's a word problem.
Right.
If you give me a final answer, just give me an answer, but your answer is wrong, you lose all of the credit. However, if you could build a proportion like this, even if there's some part of it wrong, you still get a partial credit. So my answer is, even if the question is asking you, you want to work, in your head, but I would still suggest you write your steps, show your work in the exam. So even if you do something wrong, partially wrong, you still get a partial credit. But if you don't show me the work, you just give me a final answer. If you get the answer wrong, you lose everything.
Okay.
So I would still suggest you, put your work, there, show your work there, and then that will help you. Because sometimes you're able to work in your head, sometimes you're not able to. So it's better to write your work, okay, in your exam, so you get partial credit. Okay. Very good. So that's good for this problem, everyone? Okay, now let's try this question one together, please. Solve the following using equal proportions. 36 is 30% of one number. Are we able to build a proportion? And how? Do we know the amount in this problem?
36.
Do you have a number next to the word is? Yes. So, 36. Do we know the base?
No.
Over one number associated with the base, right? Do we know it? We don't know. So we let this number to be what? X. Right? 40% in a fraction way. 40%. How do we write it? 40 out of what? 100. Can you please cross multiply and tell me your final answer for X?
90.
What? 90? Everybody get 90? You did already? Okay, very good. So X equals 90. Use 36 times by 100 and divide by what? 40. You will get a 90, okay? X equals 90. So let's double check. If we replace X by 90 here, 36 divided by 90, you should get use a calculator, you should get a 0.4, right? 0.4 is indeed what? 40 out of 100. You can check, okay? Check. Alright, so this is question 1. Let's also do question 2 together, please. 527 is what percent of 850? Try it.
Oh yeah, for the test exams, are you gonna give us like a pre-test study guide thing? So we can know what's on it?
It's in the Ivy Learn.
Oh.
We have a review quiz.
Got it, okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
I'm going to ask some of you guys, answer the question, okay? I hope it's not that difficult, okay? Morgan,
Which one did you want me to answer?
question 2?
I got 62%.
Okay, can you please also tell us your proportion?
I did 527 on the top, 850 on the bottom of that one, and then X over 100 on the other side.
X out of the 100. Everybody do set up the proportion like this? Or similar to this? Okay. Alright, Similar means you can put this side on the left hand side and then this to the right side. It doesn't matter. Okay, so all right. So cross multiplying your x equals what?
62%.
62. Okay, your x equals 62. Okay, the percent will be 62 over 100. That's 62%. But x value itself is what? 62. 62 does not equal 62%. Okay, because 62% is 0.62. They're different. Okay, so this question is asking what percent. You can just leave the x equals 62, the p value there. You can just leave it there. Okay, and then you say p% equals what? 62%. Okay, but the p equals 62. Am I clear, guys? Okay, good. Okay, so this is the first method by using the proportion to solve for the percent problem. What do you think? It's okay, right? It's not that hard, okay? All right, so you are going to finish these two tables by yourself in group later, okay? Now let's turn to page 46. Oh, I was wrong. I said something wrong. The second method is on page 46, not on page 47, okay? On page 46, okay? So, to solve the percent problem, we can also use a second method called what? Equation method. Method 2, okay? Method 2, okay? Well, similarly, I'm going to ask some volunteer to read the entire part, okay, above our questions, okay, above our questions. So you will read these two lines, you read this box, also you will read this box, okay, the whole thing, okay, the whole thing. Irma?
You can also solve percent problems by translating keywords into symbols and writing the given information into an equation. Then you solve the equation using elementary algebra. Keyword of translates to x multiplication, is translates to equal, amount translates to A, base translates to B, P% translates to P% written as a decimal. An amount is a percent of a base. A equals P% X and B. The percent of a base is an amount. P% X, B equals A. Tip, write P% as a decimal to solve.
Very good, thanks. Okay, very good, thanks. Okay, so for this table, okay, I believe that it's, everybody should be familiar with this, okay? Of something means times by something is translated into English, math symbol is equals, okay? Amount is A, B, base is B, P%, write it as a percent, as a decimal number, okay? Say 20%, write it as 0.2, 5%, write it as 0.05, okay? Write it as a decimal number. Okay, then these are our equations, okay? Just look at one of the equations, okay? Look at one of it, okay? The first one, amount A is a percent, which is P% of, means times the base, okay? So, this is the equation, okay? Equation method to solve the percent problem, okay? You may ask, is there any connection between this method and the previous proportion method? Everybody, we're kind of familiar with the proportion method. A over B equals P out of 100. Right? This is the method 1, right? The proportion method 1. So, is there any connection between the method 1 and method 2? Is there any connection between them? Yes, I say yes, okay? Why? Because A over B equals P out of 100. This, we can rewrite it as what? A over B equals, what is P out of 100? P what? Percent. Can we rewrite this proportion like this? Yes, we know. Or no? Yes. And from this equation, if both sides, we multiply by what? A B from both sides. Let's see what we have. B over 1 times A over B. B cancelled, so we have A only, right? Right side we have what? P% times by B. What is this, guys? What is this? A equals P% times by B. What is this? This is exactly our second method, the equation, okay? So, it's not like they're separate, totally separate. They're connected, okay? Just one way is by using proportion. The other way is by using what? Equation. But this proportion and this equation, they are the same thing, but different what? Way to describe it, okay? So, amount A equals P% times, this is X, means times, okay? Times the base B. Okay, well, this equation actually, they just interchange the side, okay, the side, say, they interchange the both sides, so they get a P% times B equals A, okay? So I would say these two equations, they are the same thing, okay? You just need to remember one equation, A equals P% as a decimal number, this as a decimal number times by base B, okay? All right, so this is the second method, the equation. Now let's look at our specific examples. Solve the amount, and the question is, 75% of 12 is one number. Let's translate this sentence into a mathematical equation, guys. 75% of 12 is translated to what? Multiplication in math, right? So, of means multiplying. Okay, of 12, we also know of a number, this number is what? The base, right? 75% in the decimal number, it is what? 0.75, okay? So 0.75 of 12 times 12 is translated into math symbol is equals one number. Do we know the one number? We don't know, but we let it to be x, right? And then we need to solve for x, right? How? X will equals 0.75 times by 12, right? So use your calculator and then please compute x value. 0.75 times 12?
11.25.
11.25, what's up?
I got 9.
I got 9.
9? Which one is correct? 9, okay? X equals 9, okay? What do you think about this problem? Let's practice more, okay? Let's practice more. Alright, let's try the question 1 here. So how to use the equation method to solve the problem? Translate this given sentence by what? Mathematical equation. Okay, let's do it. 15 can be translated to what? Equals, right? What percent of 90? So what is x for us? Well, what is required quantity that we need to solve for? We need to solve for the percent, right? So we say what? P% or X% or whatever. Okay, if some of you guys prefer X, we can use X. Or we can use P, it doesn't matter, okay? Of translate into mathematical symbol, it equals what? It's what? Times, okay? Of something times something. 90 times by 90. Right? See? 15 equals X% times 90. This is an equation, right? So, let's solve for X from this equation, okay? How to solve for X? How to solve for X% so far? We don't want this 90, right? We don't like this 90, so what do we do?
Divide.
If we have a multiplication here, in order to get rid of it, we have to use a reverse action. So what is reverse operation for multiplication? Division, right? So we divide by 90 from both sides. So we have 15 divided by 90, what do we have? What do we get? 15 divided by 90, get a 0.67, right? 0.67. This 0.67 equals X%. X% means X out of 100, right? Then how to isolate X? multiply by 100 from both sides. What do you think? So x will equals what? What is 100 times 5.67? 67. What's that?
I got .16.
Me too.
0.16?
Yeah.
So, okay, 15 divided by 90, we should get 1/6. 1/6 is 0.167, right? Probably your calculator or somebody needs to read the number, okay? So it should be 0.167. It doesn't round to the nearest tenth of a percent, okay? So tenth of the percent means it's gonna be some number point 1 digits, right? Percent, okay? So let's round this way, okay? Let's round our answer to 0.167 times by 100 give us 16.7%, right? Percent. So this is the final line, okay? So what percent of 90? What percent? The P equals 16.7, okay? Or you answer X percent equals 16.7%. Right? So X percent it's the same thing as X out of 100. So for X only, the P value, it is 16.7. However, the P percent equals 16.7%, and then you see the answer rounded to the nearest tenth of a percent. So in a percent way, we have a tenth, right? We have a 1 digit after the decimal point. So 16.7%. But X itself is 16.7. Any questions about this problem? No? Yes or no? Alright, so question 2, I want you to try it by yourself here together. I'll give you 2 minutes to try it, and then we'll double check answers together, okay?